And we are
Are
live.
live.
Good
Woo!
evening. Welcome to Thursday's edition of the Millionaire Ladies Mob. Tonight we're going to discuss the burden of debt, right? We're going to go around the room go around the fake room, the virtual room and give a little introduction of ourselves and then we'll dig in. Who wants to go first?
Don't everybody start at the same time. My whole thing is canceling. Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Saran Baker. Y'all must be tired today. I'm
No, it's
Saran Baker, and I am your debt elimination queen. You can reach me at saran10k.com for everything. I work with people on creating a legacy they can't not outlive, retirement planning, and much, much more.
hey everybody. I'm gonna go next. I am Aaliyah. I am Aaliyah Sherrod. Aaliyah Sherrod. Aaliyah10k.com is how you can reach me. I am the healthcare queen. Next week I'm gonna have my background. But as you know, we are different today. I'm not gonna say anything. Maybe everybody will notice. But I've been in insurance industry for a long time, and I help provide solid solutions to families and also those that are Medicare eligible. We're doing that this year, and I help you save money, get incredible coverage, reduce or eliminate anxiety. Call me. I am the healthcare queen, Aaliyah Sherrod.
I am having problems tonight. This is the burden of technology. I use my iPad. I can't even tell which way I am, which way I have to go. Oh my God. Okay, calm down. Calm down. I'm going to get it together before the end of the show. This is me. I'm Carmen Bernard. You can reach me at carmen10k.com. I help you to protect your income, eliminate debt, create a retirement income stream that you cannot outlive, and create a legacy of wealth. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy that you are too, seeing me in all of these bloops. All right, let's go.
We should really do a bloopers version, right? It would be hilarious. And I am Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I am your money queen. I'm a financial counselor, so I talk everything money, budgeting, debt, consolidation, whatever. Help you get your money straight, help you put your money away, help you grow your money, whatever you do want to do with your money. We want to thank you for joining us tonight with this Thursday's edition of the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We really do enjoy you taking the time to be here with us because we know that there are so many other places that you probably could be right now. But it's important, I think, that we talk about those things that, affect us daily. And being a financial counselor, I see that people are severely in debt and have no way of knowing how to get out of it. So by the time they get to me, they ask questions like, they tell me they don't know where to start. What's good about us meeting every Thursday evening is because we get to take the opportunities to discuss with you the different things that we see on a daily basis. And we don't just get to share with you how to get out of those situations by the studies that we do in the research, but we get to share these things with you based off of experiences, our clients' experiences. Just know that we are all have a fiduciary responsibility to where when you see us, you never have to worry about any of your confidential information being spread. But we do use those scenarios to strengthen other people's lives because those to us are testimonies. And the only way to get out of those rough patches are to share those testimonies so that other people don't make the same mistakes that you do. We're going to start off with the definition of debt burden, right? Debt burden is the cost of servicing debt. So a lot of people just feel like debt may be getting a loan, but what really tacks on the hurt in a lot of the debt when you don't really take care of it and pay it on time is the interest. You know, for consumers, it's the cost of interest payments that are tacked onto that debt. The debt burden is typically higher for credit cards and loans with high interest, but mortgages typically have a lower debt burden because a lot of times on your mortgage, the interest rates are much lower than what they would be on an unsecured debt, like, you know, a credit card or a loan that may not necessarily be tied to collateral. So, my first experience with the burden of debt was student loans, right? People tell you, go to school. That's what my parents used to tell us, go to school and get a good education, and that's going to put you on top of the world. But what they didn't say is the economy was not going to have enough jobs to support the high levels of degrees that I had. Ladies, why don't you share with us your experience with the burden of debt and how it affected you? Because the burden of debt for me didn't really affect me because, you know, it's just high student loan debt. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. You make the payments that you can, you know, and if you can't, you can't. But there are some people out there that it really causes a big damper on their lives. What do you guys think? What's your first experience with the burden of debt?
I think, Carmen, you're on mute. Carmen, you're on mute. Okay, well, Carmen's talking to somebody, but we can't hear her. I guess I'll say something. So debt. I'm one of those amazing 25-year-olds, mind your business, who I came out of college in the 90s, mind your business. And this was before they changed the law. And I believe, Shay, you talked about this on a couple of lives, or maybe we were talking one-on-one, before they changed the rules about credit cards and who can get them and how they can get them and whatever. So when I first came out of college, not only did I come out of college with a boatload of student loan debt, I came out with a boatload of credit card debt. Why? I was a first generation college student, so I had to pay for it to be. I had to pay to be there. Then, you know, I had to pay for the education to be there. Then, of course, I had to have a lifestyle. And the easiest way to create a lifestyle back then was they gave you free candy bars and free T-shirts. So guess what you did? You gave them your name, address, and social security number for the free stuff, right? And you ended up with these credit cards and these jobs trying to figure out how to pay those things off. Well, lucky for me, I came out of college, graduated, I made enough money, I paid all of it off, right? Still had the student loan debt, but it just kind of kept going and it kept working on it, right? That squeaky noise is my dog entertaining you as well. So he's on all my live videos, so just enjoy him. But I had to kind of get myself out of that and learn how to do it, right? Well, fast forward, right? Life got really great, got into really good situations, and then things changed. The economy changed, jobs changed, and then it's like, oh, what about all this stuff that you were able to afford before, but now you can't? You have to kind of figure it out, you know, and it's one of those things because I work things out on my own. I know how to do a lot of those things. I negotiated with everybody on my own. I didn't pay anybody. I went and researched and I read article after article after article. I negotiated. I had a spreadsheet. I knew how much I was willing to pay. I mean, I figured all that stuff out. And those are the types of conversations that we need to have. But the big thing that we really need to talk about with debt as we continue with this conversation is where it stems from. Some of it stems from a lack from before, and it's like, let me overextend because I can just pay that later type of thing. Whereas before it was, let me earn the money to get where I need to be. But I'll put a pin in that, and you know, I got a lot more to say.
Oh my God, yo,
Carmen, nice of you to join us.
I know, right? I was trying to unmute. The unmute button keeps moving. The thing keeps popping up and saying, Shalonda is live. Do you want to join her on Facebook? And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I can't get rid of that. Okay, so, but like many of you, my very first experience with debt, of course, what was my student loans. You know, I also, you know, was first generation college student. And by the time that I was doing that, I was a young wife. You guys know, like Saran says, mind your business. But I was a young wife, so with kids and everything like that. So if you couldn't afford it, you use your credit card. If you needed something to tide you over. So that was my first experience with debt. The thing is, though, why it's important for us to have this conversation now is that there are options. Like, for instance, everybody does not have to go to a traditional college, right? Everybody doesn't have to do that. Or everybody doesn't have to go to the Harvards, the Columbias, the whatever other schools, or even leaving your school to go to another state school and paying out-of-state tuition. For what? And so these are the things that we can share our experiences of what we went through. And there was no one there to kind of tell us, hey, the 2-year college works just as well as the 4-year college. So you go there first and then you transfer your credits to whatever. But we are here to share that with you, to tell you that there are other options, right? No longer, I for one, definitely fell into that, especially in our community, right? Our community, our parents push us to go to school, especially if they didn't do it. Go to college, especially if they didn't do it. Get a good job and stay at that job. And I'm not saying forever.
Stay at that job for what? That
forever.
401k plan?
Forever.
Yes,
That
exactly,
lie?
Exactly. And so things have changed. Things have evolved. And so it's time for us to really and truly have that conversation. I am not telling anyone, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and tell people don't send their child to college, right? Because when my children went to college, there was nobody more proud than me. If you look in my office, my husband's office downstairs that I sometimes share, I have all my degrees, all my children's degrees on there and everything. And I also have all the student loan debt to pay off as well.
Well, wow. Well, let me answer the question. So I didn't have student loan debt. Okay. And I appreciate what everyone else said. When I was growing up, my father was an entrepreneur. And that's all he wanted us to be, his daughters to be, as entrepreneurs. Now, he did. He sent me to college, and I goofed off. I goofed off in real estate school. I was a goof off because I like to go. I don't know what you guys, back in the day, it was going to the disco. I'm supposed to be at the real estate school, and I'm at the disco 9000. And I'm there. I'm having a good time. But the debt that I liked, and my father didn't like debt. He did not want me to. I ran up a credit card when I was probably 17 or 18. I got a credit card. He paid it off. He says, don't do that. Well, I didn't learn because I love credit cards. Hey, I can get this. I can go get that bag. I can go get those shoes. I can go get whatever I want and then pay for it later as long as I had made money. So my debt when I was younger was we were flipping houses. I was buying houses. I went to college, but I wanted to be a lawyer. And I'm like, I'm not spending 8, 9, 10 years in school to be a lawyer. That was just my preference. Sometimes I do regret not doing it because I did love business law. I loved it. I like to read contracts.
I still do.
I like the fine print and the exclusions and limitations. I love that. But the debt that I'm talking about when I was younger is the credit card debt and the loan on the property and then the person not paying the rent and stuff like that. So that's the kind of debt that I have, which is now everybody's into that.
Right.
We're all into that. And I still haven't learned not to have a credit card.
I can help you with that.
But what I have learned from you ladies now, and this is what I appreciate about Carmen, Saran, and Shalonda, is that there are ways that we can get out of debt
Mhm.
and it is with insurance. And I never knew
Don't-
that. If I hadn't
Don't
known
go
that-
there yet. We don't want to give all the secrets in the beginning. All of our
Okay.
viewers will leave
Okay,
us.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
I
I'm
say,
sorry.
wait a minute,
I'm
Aaliyah.
sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
said I
Yeah.
put a pin in it. I was gonna bring it back as
Y'all,
let the queen. I just messed with you.
I'm
I'm
over
done.
here going, what we need to add to this show is some music where we can put in stuff, because all I wanted to do was do a little dance.
Oh, right when she said
make a little
disco.
love,
Well,
get
I was
back
at
to
the
my-
disco.
That was the same song I had in my head.
I was at the disco. We was having fun. There
As
was
a
this
25-year-old, I don't know why that song popped in my head.
We had so much fun when I was younger.
Make a little love.
But you know what? That's why I love this group, because we had one question and we got 4 completely different responses based off, some of us are younger than others, so based off the times in which we
That would be me.
in which we endured, those hardships, and based off life situations. Like Saran fixed all of that debt burden on her own because of, like she was saying, it depends on what happened prior to that. But like we discussed earlier, and if you want to dig into a little bit about the different things that we're talking about that we've said before, Saran shared her story once of why she had to grow up so fast and independent.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was used to fixing all the problems. And so there is no going out and getting somebody else to fix it, because she knew that she was used to fixing things. And so that's why she was able to go out there and fix her own burden of debt. But guess what? A majority of those, she's 25 now, but at the time, this happened like 40 years ago, and she was like 19. So
You have great math skills. I love it.
More like 20 years ago, and she was like 19.
Right. So back then, kids that age, or excuse me, young adults that age, they're not prepared to fix it on their own. And Leah's dad, the entrepreneur, had a completely different outlook on life, right? So he prepared her with a whole different set of skills. Now, I will gather that a lot of the young adults in our times now have those same parents that Leah's father had, because now it's an entrepreneurial environment again.
That's right.
People, based off of the hardships that we've experienced as a country, because we are today talking about consumer debt burden.
Correct.
But as a country, we have a huge debt burden as it is itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had that debt burden for years.
Mm-hmm.
Go and do some research, look up some economics, and see how our debt burden began, who we're indebted to, and you'll see that we are not going to be able to foresee us getting out of that debt in our lifetime. Even though some of us are really young, in our lifetime, we're not going to see that. That debt. And it's sad, because it shows that we're growing, our children and our grandchildren up in an environment that there's no hope as far as the value of our dollar. And it's all goes back to this debt burden.
Yeah.
But
if I can say, you're talking about the, I'm sorry, go ahead, Leah.
Oh, aren't we changing, aren't as a community, we're trying to change that trajectory, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And can't you see it though? Everyone is an entrepreneur. And if you're not an entrepreneur, shame on you. But reach out to us, the Millionaire Ladies Mob, and we have a slew of different business opportunities that we will not only introduce you to, but we will also train you to be successful in those areas.
Yeah.
What were we going to say, Saran?
I was going to say, you're talking a little bit about the national debt clock. So when you do your research, you can look at that national debt clock, right? But even in relation, as you know, you were given a really great summary of what was going on in America. But let's think about it in terms of what Carmen said when she said, go to school, get a good job, get married, have kids. Is the American dream killing you? Is the American dream killing you? Is the
Killing them dead. Killing
And
them
so,
dead.
it's one of those things that I talk about in different circles. But the question is that your dream, or are you following the dream of someone else? And that dream is leading you to debt. That dream is leading you to despair. That dream is leading you to stress. That dream is leading you to unfulfillment, right?
Right.
And I think our younger generations, our Gen X and Gen Zs, and now this, I don't know what we call them, the microwave generation. That's what I'll call them, right? This generation, they're getting a little bit more freedom because you see them coming out the gate. I'm not getting a full-time job. I'm going to figure this thing out. But the question for our viewers, and even especially for our Gen Xers, right, who are a little bit older but a little bit younger, they kind of cuss the technological generation and the non-technical, so they got a little bit of the both worlds, and they were sold the big ticket item, the American dream, right? And they bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And I'm 25, so I don't know that much about it, but this is like my 15th time being 25. Just mind your business. but the thing is that 22nd time.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from the client base and the clients I'm working with is that they're getting into a space where they're trying to figure out, how do I pay off this debt and how do I retire? How do I?
Well, let's go there.
I had someone say to me in the chat, and one of my questions today, one of my biggest fears is being retired and still having to pay a mortgage. Yes. Right. And so the two things, paying the debt off and saving for retirement, are in direct conflict, on polar sides of the pendulum, if you will. Same line, same money. And so the money is competing for whether it's going to go to your retirement plan or if it's going to go to debt, right?
And it's so sad, right? Because it doesn't have to be that way.
Absolutely.
And the secret is not the same as the big Victoria's Secret. It's not that big. The secret is start early and start right. Like,
and
you
be
have
consistent.
To be educated on
and
what you're doing.
Right. And then Leah tried to drop the secret bomb, and then there's other, important pieces of the life insurance vehicle that we don't understand as a financial tool, right? And there are things that, one of us can teach you how to do, but there's a way to accumulate that cash, recycle it, and also pay the debt and get your retirement built up. But you have to be consistent. It's one of those things where it sounds really great in theory. It is great in theory, but if in practice you don't do it right, you can still mess it up. But the thing is that you can get these things down. You can use, you talked about multiple times on our budget discussions.
Well, what I want people to know before we go to the budget is I want them to be familiar with what debt is, because I did a quick workshop for my job, and I realized that a lot of the people in the workshop honestly didn't know what debt was. They didn't realize the ideal of debt. So a couple examples of horrible instances where the burden of debt can cause, an actual amount of debt to be entirely too high are things that I see that people do every day, not realizing that they're not, when they go there, they don't realize that they're going to be in a difficult situation of not being able to get out of that debt. Cash advance places. Mm-hmm. What are they called? Payday loans. When I used to work with the soldiers, it was sad. Because on the 15th, the 1st and the 15th, they were out of money because some of them had gone to these payday loan places, and the payday loans have gotten smart. Now they work off direct deposit. Hey, we send it to you direct deposit. We're going to take it from you direct deposit. They're illegal in your state, but they're not illegal in every state. That's the thing. California, y'all get it right.
Right.
Y'all get it right. Like, they get it right. But yeah, in a lot of states, it's not. In the state of Georgia, they have a lender that is under investigation that has an interest rate of 666%.
Well, you know what? To that point with the payday loans, something recent, there's business owners who use some of these card transaction
Yep.
things, and I won't name any of them, but the card transactions, those card transaction companies will also give you a loan. But
Yep.
what they do is they automatically take their money as you earn business.
Right.
So
And
you,
a small
so you're
percentage.
putting
So
your
the
dig in a hole, right?
so
It's
the
like
business owner thinks it's a good thing. They
it's a
don't
good thing 'cause you
realize.
fix it temporarily. You might as well go outside with a mop and a bucket and try to mop up the beach.
There you go. There you go.
I mean,
But we talked about the student loan interest,
right.
the cash advances on the credit cards, payday loans, and the online second lending agencies. But Carmen, what were you going to say?
So I wanted to say two things here. The first was, you said that let's talk about really the definition of debt. So do you understand that some people, even those that you named were great examples, but some people do not understand that their mortgage and their student loans are debts.
Right.
I've spoken to a lot of clients, and you know what they say?
Car.
I don't have any debt.
Yeah.
All I have is my mortgage, my student loans, some credit cards, and my car loan.
Because there's that misconception that all debt is bad. They think debt, they think bad. But you're right. Like, for a person that has nothing but their mortgage and their car, that's great. They don't need to pay that off because they need to keep that debt revolving. If you can't pay it off, great. But if you want your credit score to stay active, then there's some tools. And one of those tools is don't get rid of your longest history, your longest good debt, which would be hopefully your mortgage and your car are your good debt. Otherwise, you're not going to have that good debt very long.
Well, I don't know about cars.
Well, like what Carmen said, I hear that a lot. Oh, I don't have any debt. I just have my school loans, my mortgage, and my car note. Well, you have debt.
That's debt. That's debt.
Oh, and I have a loan on my retirement plan.
So y'all, I'm about to share something.
This is what they say.
So listen, we got a note in the mail, right? And this
She's
note,
so funny. A note in the mail.
Yeah, a note in the
Was
mail.
it on a post-it?
As opposed to a note in her email, regularly.
Was it on the napkin?
Yes, basically it was. But it was like telling us that there was this great offer that we could take at 0% on if we spend whatever amount, and they even gave you a check, and that you can spend at whatever amount until next year, October. Well, as you guys know, the devil is in the details. And then my husband said, I wonder why they send this to us now. And I say, I know why. They were like, this N-word doesn't want to, is trying not to pay no more interest. He about to pay off this loan, pay off this stuff. Let's entice him back in here. So when we are reading some of the fine print, this is what happens. If you already have a balance on that loan, on that card, right? And you now take what they're offering you. So let's say you had $6,000 on there. And you say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this because you could use it for anything. You could use it to improve your house, to do whatever. So you now take 20,000, right? It's gonna be zero until October of next year or whatever. You're still gonna pay your payments like you're paying whatever you pay. However, the payment will go to reduce your lowest percentage balance.
Right.
What does that tell you? That it's going to be going toward that zero interest payment.
Right.
Meanwhile, the balance that you have on there before is going to continue to accumulate at whatever interest rates it was going through at that time. So that is something. It looks nice up front what they're saying, but this is a way now they're going to stop you from finish paying off that balance.
Yep.
Distract you.
Yep.
With different little things, and now the little balance that you had, or the lot balance that you have, whatever it is, it's going to continue to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. The devil is in the detail.
Lowest balance, lowest interest rate first.
Lowest interest rate first, and your lowest interest rate is going to be that zero. So
And
whatever
sometimes
you have
on your statements, it says your promotional aid, and it's in the fine print.
it's there.
I tell you, when I worked as a young girl, I'm still young, but when I was younger, I had some really good jobs. One of them was a call center. I was a financial analyst for a credit card company. I won't tell you the name because we've been sued. We were sued a lot of times. But one of the worst cursing outs that I've ever received multiple times was when they dropped those promo checks. Because when they drop those promo checks, they need no activation or anything. And it's just in real big words, like you said, enticing, get this 0% APR for 18 months or whatever the case may be. And then the client goes and they just literally deposit that check into their checking account. And then when they start making those payments and they miss that promotional window is up, and then they call in and like, where did all this interest come from? They're mad. And the first thing they say is, why did you send me the check to start off with?
And
they feel like it's a scam.
The other thing, as soon as it goes into payment, the other thing that people don't read and understand, that interest goes back from when you had it at the beginning. It's not, the interest is not just right there and then. So you had better get rid of all of that. And for somebody to take that and use it strategically,
it can be very beneficial.
Yeah, they need to zero out balance. That's number one.
Or not even zero out. You can make calculations to show how much you need to pay off within that time frame, but you need to be aware of the time frame so that you're not stuck with anything when that promotional period ends, because you still have that $24.99 or whatever that bad interest rate was just sitting there, right, generating the interest,
accumulating on your previous balance. So you need to get rid of that. And then the second part is you need to make sure that it doesn't go one day beyond that promotional thing. So you can do some strategic things and use that. It's not everything is bad. You have to understand how it all works. By the way, we do have some fans that are listening, even if they may not comment, because someone reached out and talked to me about the fact that we talked about credit cards and how you use your credit card in a in a good way to avoid paying interest and to be able to get different benefits from it and things like that, and leave the debit card alone. They wanted to get some more information on that. And so hey guys, we are helping. Don't worry about the comments and the likes and the this and that, because people are stopping by and people are listening. And this is important information, because like I was saying, with that, right, the young me would have been like, whoa, this is great, right? We could do this, and that, or whatever. But there's a way to do it. You just have to understand. You got to beat the banks at their own game. I have something else to share about that a little bit later, but I'll start.
But that's why it's important for you to have a financial counselor or someone that you trust that's educated on those situations, because if you have your finance person, when those type of opportunities come available to you, then you can reach out to your finance person to make sure that that's a good or a bad thing for you, instead of just trying to figure it out on your own.
You know,
I'm gonna go further and say you need to reach out to us, because some of those finance people out there are suspect.
But you know what? Most people
say, go ahead, Leah.
What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was going to say some of it, and remember, every person doesn't understand, finance is a broad term and there's specialties.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that they understand it. The thing is that we have to really think in terms of what's for us. And even if your financial person, which if it's not us, I don't know why, but even if the financial person doesn't necessarily understand the specific arena that you're talking about, they can ask you the right questions so that you can make a better decision, and then get you to someone else who we are connected with, who is an expert in that area. Because the thing is we make so many independent financial decisions. Not saying we're not capable enough, right? And I don't recommend, I don't recommend to people to do what I did as far as credit cards. I was like Shalonda said, I was in a place where I just had to figure it out, right? And but the thing is to really, think about it, take a look. I mean, there's so many strategic ways to do things and use them to your advantage. And I mean, you talking about those checks? I just threw some away. They still mailing them out. I get
mailing them out.
Every time I check my mail, I get those fancy little sign here, deposit me now. Why?
And they're going to keep on. But see, you have the right mind to not do that. Imagine that family, especially in these times. You know what? Let me just, and I'm going to come to you, Leah, but this is something. My next section was ways to avoid falling victim to the negative debt burden as a consumer. I always talk about, whatever we talk about, I always talk about your first plan of action is always to have a spending plan. Because when you have that spending plan and you started to create your emergency fund, then you're not so reliant on those loans, because everything's taken care of. So your mind is just in a better place. But, we need to go a step further because it's not just on the consumer. These companies need to do better. Like every company that you walk into has a mission statement on their wall. I promise you they do. And I can guarantee that a majority of them, because I've worked for a lot of them, do not abide by that mission statement. First thing, student loan debt is out of control to the point to where the government is trying to tap in to try to give it some control. Lenders, why is it that you don't have a cap on that? I have a cap on my mortgage. When I go and I get, you go and you get your mortgage, there's a calculator that shows you when it'll be paid off, how much it'll be paid off, the date you can celebrate making your last payment. You don't get that with your student loans.
Nope. Because they were never intended for you to pay off.
Right. And credit card debt to these teenagers, 19-year-olds that are out there. Explain to me why these kids, us kids, as we used to be, can't go to a football game without getting a t-shirt to support our school and end up in a raffle for a credit card. It's wrong. They should not be allowed on campus. Being an insurance agent or being a financial planner, literally having a certification, taking courses, continuing education, I can't walk foot on a college campus without permission.
For sure.
But I've been approved by the state of insurance. I've been approved by the financial board with those certifications, and credit card companies can march out there and throw footballs with raffles and tickets.
That's because they sponsored things. And
at the cost of who?
And it's a consumer world, right? And the thing, it's predatory to an extent. Like you say, some people are not necessarily following their mission statement. And it seems, and in a lot of instances, it's predatory because and then on top of that, the programming is you ain't sugar, honey, iced tea if you don't have this, that,
right,
the third, right? If you're not keeping up with the Joneses or whoever the next Instagram outfit wearer is, makeup, hair, new body part, whatever, right? And the thing is that it's layers upon layers upon layers of programming. And until you start to deprogram yourself and work with people who understand, that being debt free is probably a better situation, and we wouldn't have so many people worried about getting rich. Nothing wrong with getting rich. Do not get my words twisted, right? But we wouldn't be so stressed like I need to hit the Powerball so I can pay off this debt. Ask 10 people, what they would do if they got, well, we'll use the word inherited since we're licensed agents, we can say those things, inherited $500,000. What would be the first thing they would do? And I bet you they would say, all of them would say pay off their debt versus find a way to make it grow.
Yep.
And that's the difference, because we have the mentality where we're hustling backwards. We're the borrower and not the lender. And we need to work towards becoming the lender, right? And I don't care what your religious belief is or spiritual belief, all of them will talk about abundance and prosperity.
Absolutely.
It does not include being in debt to any man or any woman.
Exactly.
And And it's one of those things where we really need to make a shift in our mindset that money isn't evil in and of itself.
Or in this case, since we're talking about debt burden, all interest is not bad interest.
Correct.
Anybody want to shed a light on some good types of interest?
So put a pin in that. But sugar, honey, iced tea, saran, girl, you just got it. Listen, we are more concerned with looking rich than being rich.
Right.
It's about the symbols for us. I can't even try to say it. Was it Ferragamo, whatever belt? I don't know, whatever the hell it is. The Tesla, but we live in an apartment. These are the things that get us there. And then someone else said, we need to be the lender and not the borrower. And so don't forget, we're going to talk about good types of interest. But some of the things we've got to do when you guys said start young, it includes education. So I had my babies yesterday and today with me, and we're like, let's read a book. So my grandson chose The Millionaire Mind. And we are reading The Millionaire Mind to, my grandson is the eldest one. He's 16, a 16-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 3-year-old. Okay. And we got through the first 3 pages. It took us a long time to get through it because we had to answer questions and this and that. But children, we really got to start with them so early. My granddaughter was like, so now I get it.
Right.
Nobody don't own any of these things. They don't own the car. They don't own the house. The bank owns it. And when she said that, right, I was like, so what it is that you guys have to be when you grow up?
A bank.
All 3 said, the bank.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
And you know what's funny? And it ties back to the question that Shalonda asked, what's the good debt? And I actually dropped 2 videos just about that, one about the bank and one about the debt. So when our kids come out of college, we as parents, you gave a good point, teach the young kids, but who's teaching the parents? We are teaching you. So that's why it's important to talk to a financial professional so you can teach your kids what you weren't taught, right?
Right.
And then the thing is that when our kids are coming out of college or when they're in college, we should be buying property. We should be considering buying good debt, getting good debt, and renting out rooms so that either if it's a reasonable city I went to Virginia State University, and it was a really reasonable town to buy property in at the time, Petersburg. But my family didn't have money to necessarily buy a property. But if they did, I did have a college mate who that's what his father did. He bought a house in Petersburg. It had like 4 or 5 bedrooms. His sons and his nephews or whatever, they stayed in the rooms and they rented out the rest. And then when they left, he rented it out. I rented it out after they left.
Wow.
So
I had a friend in college I had a friend in college whose parents did that too.
And then
they bought a duplex.
Right. And the flip
she
side
decided she was going to go to school there, they bought a duplex.
And when they come out of college, we're buying them cars. Buy them a duplex. Buy them a house. Buy
them a duplex when they get ready to go to college.
Right.
Because guess what? When they're done with their 4 years, you would have paid it off. And if you buy the duplex, the B portion would have paid off the A portion. So your daughter is at school living rent free.
Right.
And that's the thing. We're not thinking strategically.
We are not.
We're just about paying tuition and other things and doing all kinds of, taking money out of our retirement, doing all kinds of things because we're doing what we got to do. We think we have to do. But the other thing is that the American dream has pressured us into thinking we have to go this certain path, this exact way. I think that our former first daughter showed us a different path. Why do I have to go right to college? Why can't I take a gap year?
Right.
And guess what? That gave her parents time to do. I mean, even she's the first daughter, but that's a whole nother thing. But if that were us regular parents, that would have gave me another year to figure out my money. Or, hey, this is where you think you want to go to school. Now I'm going and looking for these properties, these deals and stuff to try to have something set up for you to go to that town. Or I've got something in our neighborhood because you didn't pay the extra to go out of state. And so good debt. And let's not mistake a house for good debt in and of itself. A house is only good debt if you use it as an asset. The only time it's an asset is when you use it to make money, period. If you're not using the house to make money, it is a debt. It's where you live. It's no different than if you had an apartment you're paying for. It's a debt. You're not getting anything out of it. If you're not running 15 businesses like Carmen and Serena and Aaliyah and Shalonda from your house and generating money with the house, or even there's some really high level strategic things. I don't even want to throw it out you because I don't want you to say Saran told you to do it. Right? There's a lot of things you could do if you have equity, take it out and use it to leverage for business purposes to have you make money. But the thing is don't mistake having a house for being good debt in and of itself. It's an asset, again, only if you use it to generate income. That's the definition of an asset.
That's exactly right.
Be very clear about what the definition of an asset is. So I don't care if it's your car and you're using it to generate money, you might be able to count your car as an asset to an extent. But let's just be real. If it's not generating money, it's not an asset.
And then why do you even have it?
Just
why do you have something that's not generating you money?
Because I got to go to the disco with Aaliyah.
Oh, okay.
Some things we need,
Like what? What is something that you need that you can't generate money with?
Housing. We need house, right?
But you still generate money from your house.
Well, I do, but everybody may not.
No. We understand that, but we're saying, yeah, you don't. But let us show you how.
Right.
Because
definitely.
There's no reason why you have something that you're not using. I have a cell phone, but it makes me money.
Right.
Right.
But
I got three computers in here, and every one of them make me money.
Here's the thing, Aaliyah, you're gonna just have to speak up because the three of us, oh my God. But I'm gonna tell you.
I'm enjoying the extroversion in school. And I gotta just wait a minute, let them talk.
Right, but let me tell you, the reason that we are on here, right, is so that we can teach the parents. We do not want people to be in their triple 20s and double 20s and being 25 for the 48th time to not have had someone tell them about these things.
Right.
To not have had it mentioned. Because let me just say, we are so caught up in this roller coaster of going to work, right? And I don't have anything bad to say about having a job, right? I don't have anything bad to say about that. I would be a hypocrite, right? Just like I don't have anything bad to say about people sending their kids to college or to one of the fancy colleges, it feels so great when my son was going to Emory or my daughter was going to some elite college somewhere, whatever. But guess what? There are options. And if someone would have sat me down and explain why that is just a symbol of something, like my son, he chose, there's only one of my sons that does not have a master's degree, the one that went to Emory University. And he said, one of my children that do not have a master's degree. And he said, why? I want to have my real estate broker's license in the next 3 years.
And he'll make more money, and he'll probably make far more money. I make way more money with my certification than I do with my 3
college
degrees.
Degree. Exactly.
My 3
either. Soak that in, people. I make way more money. And let me be very real with you. With my $65 certification in my home state, resident state. Oh, not to mention the $39.95 that I paid for the course, and then not to mention my continuing education classes that probably cost me like $49.99.
Let's call it even $300 just for.
And then my financial planning certification that initially only cost me $1,100. So total, what's making me money? What would you say? $2,000?
Well, yeah. $2,000. You added the other certification
that I didn't pay all at once.
Right.
I make far more money than my 3 high-level degrees from nice colleges.
Right.
People think about that and they're like,
down in that. We
mind
are not
blowing.
Right. Don't take that at all.
It's not a negative.
It's not a negative. It's actually a positive. It shows you.
It's just the facts. Y'all know that I'm the owner of Big Facts. It's just the facts. That's all we bring to you. The facts.
No, it's not like
Big
that for
facts.
everyone, though. You know, my sister's a nurse. She's an ICU nurse.
She
she's an
needs those
RN.
certifications before she nurses me.
She's an RN, and she was smart because she has a big sister. So she didn't go to a 4-year nursing school. She went to a it's a prestigious school, nursing healthcare school in Florida, but it's an 18-month program, right? And she became an RN there in an 18-month program. And guess what? She runs circles in her ICU around those nurses that went to those big nursing schools.
Yeah.
18 months, saved a lot of money, and is making a killing. When I tell you, I look at her statements when I'm doing her financial plans, and I'm just like, we need to get you a business, girl. You need some write-offs.
Right.
You need some write-offs. That's the other reason you need a business. Some write-offs.
Right. And to make money. Don't just not for the write-offs, right? I mean, you can do
That's
that,
true.
but
Yeah, not for just the write-offs, to make
But-
money.
but you
'cause
gotta
eventually-
really-
it can't, if it's just a hobby, if you're doing it just for the write-offs, eventually
Right.
you have to make money from it. Right?
I think it's
You got
important for us
some
to
leeway.
really circle it back to, some of the original, statements that you were, making. The debt. Really think about the debt. And I'm going to go a little deeper here, like emotional. Some of our debt, if we really look at it, is it your debt or is it debt, emotional debt, because you've helped other people? Is it debt from the perspective of, are you caregiving, not older people, but are you taking care of everyone else and everyone else's needs before your own? Are
I
you
hope
over?
not.
I'm trying to personify the people I talk to, right? Are you doing more than your share
Right.
because they expect you to?
Right. That's a
And
good point.
is it really your responsibility if they're adults? Or do we need to take a step back and give them a chance to figure it out? And I'm not saying that that's true for everyone, but someone here, some
Right.
woman here that is listening now or listening in the future to the replay will be able to resonate with what I'm saying when she looks around and says, I've taken care of everyone else but me, but I still have to pay off this debt that I somehow collected because I was taking care of everyone else. Right.
Which, you raise a great point, though, because something that I never really thought about in that same space is Parent Plus loans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let's figure out another way, let's figure out another way, because if it's to a point to where the school costs so much that you need a Parent Plus loan, what is it about that school that you can't get somewhere else?
It's emotional, I think. I think a lot
It's
of people
very
get to that
emotional.
point where my baby has graduated or whatever challenges have happened up until that graduation and time to matriculate into college. It's like, I can't believe my baby, whoever
Right.
is going to college, and we got to just make this work. We got to figure
gotta
it
make it
out, right?
Right.
Whereas what we could be doing, right? If you're a parent and your kids come out of college already, what we could be doing as future grandparents, even if the babies aren't here, is planning for their college before they're even born,
Right.
because that's what they do in the other communities that are and a lot of the non-melanated communities. And I'm reading books from, financial books and different things from other, ethnicities and other people, because we got to understand the mindset of the money in order to embody it and really receive it and manage it, right? I'm reading a book by a Jewish rabbi right now, and he's killing the game. I'm gonna do a book review on my YouTube. You got it. This book is fire. But the thing is that how are we thinking about it? How are we planning for our future generations? Today, right now, I don't care if you're a single woman with no kids and you're not dating, you should be planning for your grandkids, period.
Or your nieces or nephews.
Your grandkids, your grandkids or your nieces and nephews or whatever. If you're a single, and I'm just being real, right? Because we don't think that far ahead because we weren't always allowed to, based on historical craziness of
because you're in
the
this
things that we've had to survive, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I love the $1 Million
have to
Baby.
do it.
That's why I love the $1 Million Baby, because with the $1 Million Baby, they can use it for almost anything.
Correct.
Now, to give some of our ancestors some credit,
Oh yeah.
They did prepare, and some of the other cultures as well.
But it was taken away.
There were, yes.
A lot
And
of it.
back in the day, there were life insurance agents, the pioneers of the company that used to go door to door and knock. You know, they
Come
I
on.
think I'm gonna
still,
start
some
going.
of them still do that. You know, some of them
debit thing.
still do that. We, on the other hand, the four of us, we like heels, so
My knees
going
not so
door to door
much.
and knocking. But they were selling these, college not necessarily insurance agents, but financial advisors and planners were selling those college 529 plans.
Mm-hmm.
And those are great. As a financial planner, people ask me all the time, hey, what do you think about a college 529 plan? And I show them the difference between my baby, the $1 million baby that I love, and the college 529 plan. And I put them side by side and I say, what do you do when you get a child like me, like I was? Doesn't know that they want to go to college, may take a little bit longer to get to that route, and then decide, okay, I'll do it, but it's going to cost a little bit more than what you did put aside in that 529 plan. And then what if you get that other child, because none of your children are ever going to be the same, that say, I don't care what you say, I'm not going to college. Then what you going to do with that? You have to gift it to somebody else, right?
That would live with me.
And then you're going to be trying to look around and find somebody to gift it to. But the $1 million baby or those type of flexible solutions, if they decide they don't want to go, okay, so do you want to go to a tech school? Do you want to go get a skill? Do you want to go get a trade? Do you want to go over here to the port and learn how to be an oil rig guy? Like, what do you want to do?
You want to go live overseas and backpack for 5 years? What you trying to do?
You want to go on TikTok and make it big? Use this. I use some ads.
Because mom and daddy trying to walk around here,
Facebook ads with this money from your $1 million baby.
Right.
But you can
It's
do
almost an
that.
hour.
Right, and those are great points. I love talking about debt elimination, so don't get me wrong. But
I think I'm gonna put a post up tonight about the $1 million baby. I just love that little baby.
The amazing thing about all of it is that the important message to take away is nothing you've already done up until this point is necessarily wrong.
Right.
You can always pivot and take a different path. Right.
Never panic. Always pivot.
Don't panic.
Right?
Pivot. Right. And we're here giving you free education and putting you up on free game because a lot of people aren't having these conversations with us. And I'll use this word and you'll understand it. So some of the tools in the financial industry were almost similar to when they were redlining districts where we lived back in the day. We weren't getting offered all the same financial tools and access. And if we were getting offered, we were getting the bottom of the barrel offers of it, right?
Right.
So when you think about the redlining, it's in my mind because I woke up to a YouTube video of the history of Oregon talking about redlining the district of Portland. I was like, how did I get to this? But it was a great video. It was a really awesome video. But because I ended up just watching it. But the thing is that that's not true now. We have options.
Yep.
We have greater education. We can get books. We have people who look like us doing financial services. We have people who look like us educating on finances. We have people who look like us that you can get an appointment. Because when I look at things or I go into an industry and let me know if this resonates with you later. It doesn't matter what the topic or the subject is. I'm looking around for somebody who looks like me, not just melanated. I'm looking for another woman who is melanated, who is doing it and doing the doggone thing, because I want to know what she knows, because I know she's had a tougher hill to go up.
Yes.
She's taking more bumps and bruises, and she's going to be able to give me some ins and outs so that I can come a little harder and make it a little
That's
easier.
what let me see your notes. I want their notes. I want to sit by them. Yeah.
Doing it and doing it well.
So two things that I really wanted our viewers to take away from this segment, because we always bring gems, but two things that I did want to say. I'm never going to tell a client or a family member or a friend or a viewer not to use a credit card, right? I do teach smart ways to use credit cards because I love credit cards. I love to swipe because I like cash back rewards. But what I will tell you is don't spend more on that credit card than you can afford to pay back.
Yes.
That month.
Don't.
Yes.
That part. Before that closing date. be specific
Yes.
about what.
Exactly. Before the closing date.
Don't put more, don't get a loan, that you can't pay back within a time frame. And I'm talking soon. If you have to get a loan, then we need to talk about ways to get you set up for an emergency fund, because a lot of people are getting loans for emergencies. Which
Correct.
brings me to that second point. Reach out to a financial counselor. I'm here to let you know, and I don't ever plug organizations because organizations don't pay us yet for sponsorships.
For
But I
sure.
happen to work for a company called Operation Hope. And Operation Hope is completely free. It's a nonprofit. And when I say completely free, I mean we work hard for free. And so even my clients that I have personally outside of Operation Hope, I don't charge. And I'm in a network of people that don't charge either. So I know there are services out there that are free. There are services out there. I do also have people in a network that do charge $270 an hour.
Mhm.
Are they good? Yeah. Am I good? Heck yeah. I pride myself on what I do. And yes, people tell me all the time, Shay, you shouldn't do it for free. But I do, because we're about helping you get to where you want to get, where you can have a healthy financial future. Leah, what do you have to share tonight?
Well, you know what? I'm just going to close with my, because I forgot what I had to say. And maybe I'll say it next week.
You need to stop hanging with extroverts.
I know. It's like,
I'm
oh,
sorry,
wow.
Aaliyah. We're gonna wait
No.
here until you say everything you want to say, Aaliyah.
No, I forgot what I was going to say, and it was funny, but it's okay. But we've been on over 30 minutes, and I'm Aaliyah Sherrod, and I help provide solid, real solutions to families, especially those people who need it, especially us, okay? If you're eligible for Medicare, if you have an employer group, you want to save money on your health care, that is me. I am the healthcare queen. I'm an advocate for women in insurance. If you want to be in insurance, I can show you the way. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod. Thank you for joining the Millionaire Ladies Mob.
Aaliyah said, "Wrap it up."
Right. Miss Carmen, you wanna say anything?
Yo, baby, yo.
She's in her rapping mode tonight. She got her New York hoops in.
This was an awesome conversation. Listen, people, if you tune in later, hit hashtag replay, share this. This can help someone. If not you, someone else, right? It's all about helping, especially helping PLU, people like us. So share this live. Share this live. Now, I am Carmen Bernard. You can reach me at carmen10k.com. And unlike Shalonda, who's not going to charge you for anything, some of my services are not free. The price is the all right. So I do.
We're gonna take away her TikTok.
The price is the price.
I do provide some services to clients for free. I do provide lots of education for free. I'm not going to charge you for that. But there's certain things when we talk one-on-one, it's going to be paid for. You're going to have to pay. Now, if you reach out to me, you're going to have to pay. You can reach out to Shalonda. She may not charge you, but then she may not be offering the service that I'm talking about. So you're going to still got a company and still pay. So there you go. Also, I want to bring to your attention our Millionaire Ladies Mob shirt.
Yes.
We look fabulous in our Millionaire Ladies Mob. And when
How
you
can our
join
clients
us,
get a shirt like this?
a viewer, how can you say the question again?
How can our viewers get a shirt like this?
A viewer can get a shirt like this. You can win them, or you can order them from us.
We can
But-
drop them in the link. Order these shirts.
Order these shirts from us. Go to millionaireladiesmob@gmail.com. Tell us your color that you want. They come in black, white, and purple, and gold, because we just fabulous like that.
Yes.
Tell us your size, and what color you want, or get all three. So I told you they're not going to get it for free.
That's right.
You can get all three, but you're not going to get it for free. The price is the
Saran, before she goes into another TikTok video, would you like to close out?
I charge too. That's all I'm saying.
That's my sister down there. That's my sister.
I'm from New York. You just can't get everything for free. Come
That's
on,
right.
we make a Queens. We don't roll like that. Everything.
Y'all better stay away from them New Yorkers.
It
I
ain't
don't go to
free.
New York for nothing but pizza.
No. Seriously. Absolutely.
And don't piss us off and do an appointment and then show up. Because
Saran, would you
we're
like to
really
close?
gonna pay.
Let me say this. You can book a free consultation with me. You can
That's
do
right.
that at theran10k.com. You can get a whole 30 to 45 minutes for free. However, if you cancel, you will pay to meet with me the next time.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, we will move forward. But there are things that we do. Keep in mind the price versus the cost. We do a lot for free because we give. But I want you to understand this one concept. Just because you have to pay for it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. And just because someone charges you doesn't mean anything wrong with it. It's an equal exchange of energy. Everything is gives and takes. We have to have an exchange in life. So at any rate, and that's where we are. As business people, there's nothing wrong with business people who charge you for services. That's why they're in business. That's their service that you receive. And I won't go off on a tangent on that because I'm like all into this book.
That's another live.
Tell them where they can find you, Saran.
But you can find me at saran10k.com. It has everything on it. You can reach me on, and it has my Facebook, my Facebook, my YouTube, my Instagram. I have a TikTok account, but I only posted like one video with my niece.
Y'all go check it
She
out.
did it
y'all.
when I
Go
wasn't
check it
looking,
out.
so I'm dancing in the outfit. But you can go there too. But but just and I know Carmen and we both go live every week, and Aaliyah goes live in some private groups, and Shalonda is out here saving the world, so she doesn't have time to go live yet. But we're gonna get her to go live on her own soon too. But we're out here educating because the education is the important thing. We really want to get you to, really start thinking differently and having different conversations. So again, Saran Baker, Dead Elimination Queen, you reach me at saran10k.com.
And Saranda is absolutely correct, people. Just because they do offer a service for cost does not necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. We put a lot of time and energy into our consultations. We put a lot of effort, and not to mention that some of us still choose to work full time. So any time that we do spend outside of, working with our clients, it's time away from our families, which we choose that. I'm not making an excuse. We choose that. This is where we choose to be. I do provide a different service than some of them do provide, which is why I don't charge for my services. Now they do have the professional or the financial professional consultation as well that they don't charge for. I go a little bit more in depth sometimes with budgeting and putting you on a pay down option and things of that such. But we are a team for a reason. We're a team because we all offer a different service. So yes, you may come to me for a service that I don't charge you for. And then I may think that you may need some of Carmen's expertise, or I may think that you may need some of Leah's expertise. And so I would refer you to them for those situations. Just like if you're ill and you go to the doctor and you're within your network and your doctor does not charge you for that office visit, but you need to go see a plastic surgeon because you want to get a facelift, then when you go to see that plastic surgeon, they're going to charge you for their services and their time, and it's okay because you're going to leave looking amazing, right? So it all just depends on the service that you're coming to get. Now, like I said, my consultation services are free. I do have books on Amazon that if you would like to journal or you would like to document your finances, then those are on Amazon and those are not free. But again, that's not a service, it's a product. So my products you pay for, my services are free. if that makes sense. You can find me at ShalondaKaiserMitchell.com. I don't have the 10K because I don't know. I just always do things different. I'm always the oddball.
Whatever.
He's gonna have it soon. Don't worry.
But you can find me on all social media networks. I do not go live because, like she said, I'm trying to save the world. Maybe I'll make some sneak appearances here or there. But we do genuinely thank you for spending your time with us tonight at the Millionaire Ladies Mob on Thursday nights at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we ask for you to just look in on us throughout the week. This week, your homework is to do something nice for someone else. Do something nice by sharing one of our videos. If this video didn't resonate with you, go look through our library on YouTube, on the Millionaire Ladies Mob YouTube channel, and find a video on there that does resonate with you and share it with a friend. Again, thank you for joining us tonight, the Millionaire Ladies Mob, and we're out.